And welcome to episode, I should look that up before we started. I'm going to say 15.
That sounds good.
15. If it's not, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. You're not. This is Police Box Paradox. I am Wes. I am here with Michael.
Yo.
And Kyle's not here because they have no internet, not because there's another problem. He may jump on as he can. We will see.
Thank you, Windstream.
He's actually a Time Warner subscriber.
Oh, is he now?
And I'm a Time Warner guy, so I'm wondering what the deal is. Maybe he did go to prom and
because
doesn't want to admit it.
It's May 4th.
Ooh,
the force is not with you.
May the 4th be with you.
And since we're from Kentucky, happy Kentucky Derby.
Is it bad that we're from Kentucky and I really could care less that the Derby happened?
The only thing I watch it, and that's about it. I mean, I would have liked to have been like corny and be like, I've got a mint julep here or something. I mean, I've got the bourbon. I might have half the ingredients, but
I didn't even know what time it happened. I know that the horse that I did not draw out of the pot won, so I lost $5. That's what I know about the Derby today. So for those that have never listened to us before, we ramble sometimes. You are on a Doctor Who podcast named Police Box Paradox. We enjoy Doctor Who, just a couple of fans, the three of us usually. My brother's usually here, but he's not tonight. And we just discuss episodes as we have just seen them. We don't really do a scene by scene. Here's what happened in the episode. We just talk about them like we just watched them, because hopefully you just watched them. We don't get too spoiler heavy. We kind of do some spoilery stuff towards the end of the episode, but we warn clearly before we get to that.
And I kill momentum as often as possible.
He does. See, I was in the middle of a sentence and he killed it.
Oh, I've got the music queued up.
Yay! So, in this episode, it's another double album. We're going to be talking about Journey to the Centre, or Center, of the TARDIS, and the Crimson Horror. Both episodes, we watched the Journey to the Center TARDIS last week, and then Crimson Horror just finished a few minutes ago, and we are now recording, talking about those. We expect you to have seen everything in Doctor Who up until now, and including the preview for next week's Neil Gaiman episode. And we will definitely be talking about that, I'm sure. So, I guess we will.
Spot's awful.
I'm sorry, I can't do anything about that. You want me to get you some spray on and stuff for your head? I don't know what's happening.
Okay, do you want to go to the? Are we going to do the Sugary Delight first, or how do you want to do
Let's do that in the middle.
All right. Do you want to do?
Excited, but yes. Let's do Journey and
waiting. All right. Well, before we start that, I do want to say this, because here's a spoiler. There's going to be at least 2 momentum killers during this episode.
Of course, because one's just not enough, is it?
But no. But there's a key to these, because this is going to be, how to put this, you need to know the songs that I'm going to be playing.
Oh, Lord.
I need to know the songs, the titles of the songs, at least one of them. Now, to my credit, the songs are not random. They have been pre-selected in reference to the episodes.
So in order to properly kill momentum, it takes planning, is what you're saying. It always just felt like when we were in midstream, you're shooting from the hip to kill the momentum.
I am, but in the essence, to allow a proper contest to our listeners, because this is rewarding the listeners that listen to us.
Our listeners deserve rewarding, that's for sure.
This isn't just some random person that can pop on the website and be like, ooh, I want this Doctor Who-Ology book, which is what the giveaway's for.
Doctor Who-Ology book.
And it is going to be, now, those of you that listen across the pond, you all already have this book by the time this episode hits. In the U.S., it is coming out on the 28th of May. So I will have to double check, but let's ride with it right now, as I want to say this contest will not be limited to the U.S. This is open to everyone.
Okay, so let's just be clear. You're going to kill momentum at least minimum of 2 times with music on this episode.
One for each episode discussion.
Okay. And when you do that, these people need to remember that and then tweet you the name.
They need to know the songs that I play, and I will have a post on the website. I'll tweet it out. We'll have plenty of time for you to fill it out.
And then we random draw?
They have to give me the name, the people that get it, then there's a random draw for the winners.
And we're giving a book away.
And winners, plural. I believe I will be able to.
Wow. Is this? Are we getting this book from the same?
The same. Yes, we are getting them from my friend over there in the book industry, Random House.
It feels good.
She's my buddy. I really wish I could do more for her. I mean, maybe one of these days I'll see if she wants to get on and talk or something. I don't know, but I got to do something.
Whatever we can do. We can promo other books, too. We can say it doesn't have to all be Doctor Who related. We can help them out for helping us out. So, with that, we'll get started and get into an episode, and then we have a treat that I'm very excited about because
yes,
I said it would happen on air, so it's been sitting here.
And we have been waiting. Shaking. What, have we had these for a month?
Close to it. I'm very excited.
Kids have been killing us for it and everything.
Okay. So, Journey to the Center of TARDIS. That was last week's episode. Let's just do the usual. How do you feel about this episode? I'm assuming you liked it, or there would have been a riot. We'd have already talked about it if we didn't like it.
I will give it a.
During
the episode, I will put it this way: during the episode, I would have given it an 8.5, maybe 9 if I was feeling generous. After the episode, knowing the actual conclusion, I'm gonna give it about a 6.5 or a 7, just because it made me mad. Yes.
Really?
Yes. The whole this didn't happen just pisses me off.
Really?
Yes.
I was good with it. I liked it. I give the episode a strong 8.5.
I 8.5 till the very last bit.
But see, I keep that through the whole thing because I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was awesome. And I was okay with the ending because I was okay with the ending because I think what happened is it's going to give us. We get to see what happens if the Doctor confronts her. And fast forwarding to the Crimson Horror, now we're probably going to see what happens when Claire figures it out on her own. So we get to see her reaction two ways. So that's why I think I was okay with the end of it. And we've heard multiple times the paradoxes correct themselves, and that's basically what happened in Journey.
Yes, but when was it okay for him to cross his own time stream, his own timeline?
That's like my last note is 2 doctors in the same place.
It's on my note too, but since you brought it up, I'm asking now.
And again, people, we're just talking about episodes. We don't go through it as it happens because we're picking up a lot of listeners, and I'm very excited about that. So a lot of you may be new.
It's the momentum killing.
Yes, killing the momentum is absolutely what brings in people. There's no doubt about that.
It gives them a good stopping point if they can't listen to us the entire hour.
In a similar way to how they are putting a lot of focus on the sonic screwdriver, in my opinion, I think that they showed us 2 doctors in the same timeline because the overwhelming majority of people that watch the show now, especially in the U.S., have no clue that there's ever been any episodes with more than 1 doctor. It's unfathomable. So by doing that, it lays a small hint that we can have more than 1 doctor in an episode, which could play out in the future, maybe in the 50th anniversary.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
there's a 50th anniversary? Really?
There will be a 50th anniversary this year. So I almost think a lot of it was a nice tease just to have that towards the end. Because I can't remember another time where we've seen in the new series, from series 1 through 7, I can't remember a time where there has been multiple doctors on screen from different times. Am I wrong?
There was a short. I don't think it's actually in.
The short's not canon.
Is it not canon at all?
No. The short, because there's the short on
with the 5th. Is it the 5th Doctor?
Well, you've got the 5th
Tennant
and Tennant, but you also have 2 Matt Smiths.
Okay, yeah, 2 Matt Smiths. Is it 2 Matt Smiths or 2 Amy Ponds?
There's 2 Amy Ponds. I'm not sure if there was 2 Rorys, but I think there was 2 Matt. I feel like there was 2 Matt Smiths in the short, where the TARDIS materializes on the TARDIS, which I think should have been a 2-part episode, not a 10-minute short or whatever it was.
It's just
I,
it was fanboys' wet dream is all that was.
yeah, I really think that's why they're setting that up. They want to establish that it can happen because
They are
it's been very
setting
clear
up.
that it can't.
They're setting up a bunch of different things because, and it's hard for me not to talk about the Crimson Horror 2, just all encompassing, but this doesn't really reflect the Crimson Horror, but Journey to the Center of the TARDIS and the one before that,
Hyde.
really emphasizes the whole timeline, time travel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's a fixed point, but guess what? If you break the time stream, it'll keep things from happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which happened. That was something he really tried to drive home when we're on the little walkway, and he had figured out how to correct it, which I thought that was an amazing twist. I don't know why at no point during the episode did I think this is Clara that's chasing us, because maybe I should have figured that out. But when that twist happened, I was like, very, very nice writing. I knew something was up when Claire and that they were doing that kind of looking back and forth around the console. But I couldn't. It didn't register like, okay, that's... I didn't know. I was like, what? Did he bring her body with him and it's reanimated? I didn't. So I thought that was a clever writing trick, and again they addressed that on the catwalk, that if you keep something, like if you can basically break the time stream, and I'm assuming we're still going off of the
time stream was keeping those two
from touching. And
okay, what Band-Aid do you have on your finger?
Oh, it's
what is that of? Scooby-Doo?
No. Let me...
Hearts? What is that? Coffee?
Pac-Man. I have a Pac-Man Band-Aid on.
Okay.
I hurt my finger. Does it bother you? I'll take it off.
No. I was momentum killing and I wanted to see what it was.
It's a Pac-Man Band-Aid. Like, it looks like Pac-Man from the cartoon. So anyway, we're still in the fixed points can't be changed, so I'm assuming that wasn't a fixed point, because fixed points seem to need to be the biggest thing that has ever happened in order for it to work. So I think that's how they're getting around it. Now, I really like the writing overall in Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, which had me look. Do you know who the writer was? You don't. His name was Steve Thompson.
I was about to say I did last week, but I don't.
Steve Thompson, and he's written one other Doctor Who episode, and that is The Curse of the Black Spot, which I really liked, and apparently a lot of people didn't, and I guess I'm just dead wrong. And my dogs are running in circles. Everyone watch out. I enjoyed The Curse of the Black Spot, but here's something else. He wrote something else. He wrote the episode Reichenbach Fall for the episode of Sherlock, which is a pretty daggone good episode.
That's a pretty good episode, yeah.
Yeah. So this dude's got...
I don't know if I analyzed that episode more than I think I've analyzed anything.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. It's... Well, and here's what's weird. He also wrote another Sherlock episode, The Blind Baker, which was the weakest episode of all of them. But he's obviously got some skill, because I enjoyed Journey. I thought it was great. I enjoyed... See... I like that we got to see the come clean moment with Sarah, because the doctor freaked out. He realized, I think he felt that there was some sort of peril where either he was going to die, she was going to die, or they both were going to die, or the universe was going to end. Yeah. And all he wanted to know was what she was. And he did so in a non-doctor, cool, calm, collected way. He snapped, and it scared her, which it should have, because he was talking nonsense to her, and she had no idea. And you got all that, and he recovered from it and cleared it up well, I thought, even though she still knew. So I was okay with losing that. I'm not a big fan of the wake up and it's a dream episode that some shows do, but I didn't feel this was that. I thought this was more of a... giving you something you wanted without
Yeah. My one thing that didn't sit well with me at the end of the episode was at the beginning of the episode, they showed on the freighter on the other ship, they showed the one picture that had the two brothers and the dad. Mm-hmm. And then for no reason whatsoever, we get to the end of the episode where the day didn't happen, and now the photo shows all three brothers.
Wow, I didn't notice that. That seems like something I would have noticed.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I noticed it because the dad was horribly photoshopped.
Oh, well, yeah, no, that's a rough one when that happens.
Yeah. I hope it was. If not, I apologize to that man that was in the picture.
And again, the day didn't happen, but
everything prior to that day happened. So
right, but I mean, even the change to the brother when he said, "Remember this moment," he remembered it.
He remembered it.
That's some type of time strain, information from the timeline escaping itself, or the timeline is still there because the timeline was constant, and now we're back at a different part.
I will say. Okay. There is going to be something I'm going to point out during our podcast episode that is typically my little shtick of being a pervert.
Oh, great.
But this is legit stuff. First off, during that whole final scene where Sarah, why did I say Sarah? Clara.
I have no idea why you said Sarah.
Clara was out of the shower or something. You know, she had the towel around her, and she said, talking about how she was tired, and the doctor said, "Well, you've just squeezed 2 days into one." What? Oh, I just say stuff. For some reason, I like that line.
Oh, yeah.
that little exchange, like, oh, I don't know, I just say stuff. But he hit her butt with the towel.
I'm going to bring this up in Crimson Horror, too.
Did you know? Okay, this is going towards the Crimson Horror. Did you get the little joke with the Sonic?
Yes. Yes.
With the...
And when he held it up. And the constant looks. We'll get to that, though.
Yeah, okay, all right, good.
But, because
I was about to say, this isn't my normal shtick. This is me saying...
We'll kind of get to it now some. The doctor, it's not that... I want to say sex as much, but the sexualization of characters or sexiness of characters is not new. You know, no. River has always been sexy. You know, we have played with what Amy was as an attractive woman from the initial time the adult Amy was shown. But other than, like, Rose loved the doctor, but it wasn't in a infatuation or sex kind of way. It was more natural love.
Martha wanted to jump his bone.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't thinking about Martha, but this is just, it's different.
It is, yeah. It's
because now he is having that. Mm-hmm. He is being more flirty, and he's never been flirty, and I'm cool with that. It just seems weird now to have it happen. We're in our 7th series, and now it's happening. So
he's going through a midlife crisis, or his internal clocks tick. I don't know.
Well, look, once you cross 1,000, some things change. You start to get hair in weird places. You know, there's a lot of growing up that goes on at 1,000. So let's look. A lot of cool stuff happened, and we saw great doctorisms. But what matters in this episode more than anything, and ever since we heard the title, all we cared about was seeing the inside of the freaking TARDIS. Now, I wanted to
see more.
I was disappointed as it unfolded because we ran by the pool, and I wanted to see the pool, and I
want to know whose slippers were at the pool.
Ooh. I didn't notice the slippers.
I thought about posting that.
You should. That would draw some.
Well, okay. Hits. Here for you listeners, here's a little inside piece of information. I've created a new persona on the website to post stuff. Me and Wes and I have talked about this. I probably shouldn't admit this, but whatever. And that was going to be the first thing I was going to write under the new name. Have you seen the new name?
Was a wild explanation of the slippers?
No, awesome. Was like questions like, what is this? Is he carrying around somebody? What's going on? I mean, what does the old TARDIS not have a pool? The new TARDIS not have a pool? So he just TARDIS, yeah. But that was one I was, because I've found a couple of different just random things that just
in the episode we're running through the hallway, and basically what we had was a green screened in pool. And
Yes.
like it wasn't even video. I feel like that was just a still shot that was put there from a pool somewhere else.
It was.
And that's, to me, that was a little bit of a cop out. And as that happened,
Wait. You're telling me the pool wasn't real?
no, it wasn't. I'm sorry.
Why?
And what killed me,
why take the time to film inside the TARDIS and not actually have a real pool?
because they didn't want to spend a lot of money on stuff. I'm finding that.
It's the TARDIS. It should be there. Did they just not feel like going down the right corridor?
Well, we saw corridors, lots of corridors.
Okay, I'm talking as if the TARDIS is real, and you're supposed to like break me down and tell me it's not real, and like the Easter Bunny and me have
the Easter Bunny is real. I don't know what you're talking.
Okay, thank you.
So we passed by that, and I was disappointed. And then we go to the little room, and I was like, oh, this can be kind of cool. And then I was like, man, I want to see, like, I wanted to go and there be like the inside of King Tut's tomb room. Like, I wanted it to be a lot of big set pieces, but I think they were trying to save money.
Yeah.
But then I have to be completely Doctor Who fanboy. I could have cared less what we saw once we saw the library. When I saw the library, I was just like, this is it. That's
you didn't
all I
like
needed.
seeing the Doctor's baby bed and Amy's TARDIS?
I did like seeing that. I thought that was a cool little piece. But like,
I think they could have had more than just that, though.
yeah. When I saw the library, I was just like, are you kidding me? This thing is this is the only place I would be in this library.
I will give them credit. You could have been disappointed with and I don't understand the telescope. I know that's a reference to another episode, and I'm dumb on which one it references.
Yeah, I'm
like but the library was perfect.
Yes,
for what it should have been, that was perfect,
including the book.
Yes, and we have somebody that asked on Twitter this past week about the book.
Well, then bring that question up, because I'll be excited to make up an answer, because I don't know it.
Laura Cooper, during this past week, asked, and she pointed out, and I was like, you have a point. She asked, how does Clara know how to read Gallifreyan? Because you would think that the history of the Time War would be written in Gallifreyan, and per A Good Man Goes to War, River pointed out to Amy, the TARDIS doesn't translate Gallifreyan.
Wow, you just killed momentum there because I don't have anything to say.
Here, I'll help. I got music queued up, and it's appropriate for the episode.
It's not technically queued up if it takes you 30 seconds to get to it.
This was the other part that bothered me about the episode. That the big fix for all the problems was, let's follow the music.
Look, you're dancing. I hope people go and watch the YouTube video just to see you dancing like a fool.
Firewoman, ladies and gentlemen.
So, hold on, do you have a TARDIS shirt on? Nice.
I posted it on Twitter earlier today saying it was one of my favorites.
So, that's...
Think about that, because I've had that all week to think about, and I'm just...
well, in theory, well, not in theory, in covering up a bad, a faux pas, if you will, he could easily say it wasn't written in Gallifreyan. That could be the cop out for that, but that's a cop out because it should be written in Gallifreyan because it's the Time War.
Mm-hmm.
That's messed my head up.
Thank you, Lord.
Is she a Time Lord then?
No, we've already seen she's a normal girl. I want to go back and see. I can't remember.
This is bothering me.
Yes, I agree, DC Sensei. I don't know. He says, there goes the hand wave. So, yes, the riders are missing.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's blowing my mind. I don't even know what to say now. I'm glad I didn't see that in the middle of the week. I would have died probably.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
I don't know. I mean...
Okay, let's just pretend. Let's just stop because I want to do this all night because I will. Even, let's just say whatever language it's in, she can read.
Okay, that works.
The doctor's name is in this book.
Yes, and I will let you talk because if you don't say it, there's something that I find very intriguing about what was said about the book.
I don't. Well, then you'll probably have to say it because it's been too long for me to remember. But I find it crazy that his name was this well guarded of a secret, yet it's written down somewhere
about his name.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just written there, and she makes it sound like, well, it's just written in the corner of the book. Like this book belongs to Jon Snow. Yes, I did.
We're Game of Thrones now?
Yes. Hey, they're way up there in the podcast list. I'm trying anything to get us way up there.
That's a good point.
The line that he said when she was telling him that she saw his name, that she now knew his name, was he said, you need to forget about that. You need to forget about my name, because if you know, then you are going to go looking for my name, which means he's done some stuff at some point under his name.
So
that is recorded somewhere. He's done something.
What if his name is the Valeyard?
When he said, I didn't write the exact quote down, but it was basically like he doesn't want her going and looking for his name.
Basically, you're saying, please don't do a background check on me.
Yes. He's basically gone by the doctor to get a clean slate. So there's a record of whatever his name was.
Didn't we see him choose his name as the doctor when he was on Gallifrey,
I thought so.
Like when he was young. I feel like that was in the End of Time, maybe. Maybe I'm crazy.
But apparently there's a record of his
birth name.
What he's done what something. He went by. He's done something under that name.
Man. This is just bothering me. Now, Journey to Center TARDIS is like it's a puzzle wrapped in an enigma. Man. All right. So that
I do like the fact. I'll keep going. I do like the fact that she doesn't want to forget everything that he told her.
I agree.
That after she settled down
and was scared,
flat out said, "You're scaring me more than anything else." But then when she gets to the back, I'd rather not forget. I want to know that you've seen 2 or 3 versions of me, and
right?
Whatever, you've seen me die.
Well, she forgot. I mean, she wanted to not forget, but she did. So that's just kind of where we ended up, but we don't end up there for long, obviously. So, do you have anything else on Journey to the Center of the TARDIS? Because I don't really have anything else on it. I really thought it was a good episode.
I want to know how the Doctor got out of the TARDIS at the beginning of the episode.
I want to know, like, was the TARDIS just laying on those cables, or were those cables and stuff part of the TARDIS? And they kept saying it's leaking fuel. Well, how do you know what it's leaking? It's a box.
Also, the TARDIS, and I guess this could be played up to, it just got sucked into the ship and they trashed it around. But the TARDIS looked much more like the TARDIS from Angels Take Manhattan, where it's all gunked up and beat up and trashed, than it did in Hyde, and then when it did tonight in what little we saw of the TARDIS in the Crimson Horror, it wasn't beat up like it was in so I don't know what's going on with TARDIS. She's apparently going through a midlife crisis too. Apparently she's getting hot flashes or something. I don't know.
She's still sexy though.
She's going through the change.
We love our TARDIS. So,
which is ironic for the episode being the Crimson Horror.
Oh my!
Do you know how long I've wanted to try to find a way to just get that joke in there?
Well, it just worked. It just worked in your favor. So, Mike, we're done with Journey to the Center of the TARDIS. Is that what you're telling me?
Hang on. Yeah. You know what? I don't care about my notes. Yes, I want a cookie.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Give a shout out before we start.
Oh, dear Jim Hawkins.
Jimbo. Good old Jimbo.
Because as you hear, as if you're watching the video.
Yeah, boy.
We have had these for about a month. Jim was kind enough to send us these.
And these, for those of you on the audio podcast, we are both holding packages of Jammie Dodgers. Authentic Jammie. Everyone's
American
Jammie
Kentucky
Dodgers.
boys have authentic Jammie Dodgers that
Now
we have not opened. We have not touched these. We swore an oath that we were doing this on the podcast.
Live on the podcast. Because listen, maybe where you are, maybe you're in England, wherever else Jammie Dodgers are available, and this is just normal, like me going to pick up a bag of Skittles. I don't know. But I am someone who I love the Jammie Dodgers line in Astronaut. I think it's hilarious, and ever since then, I've wanted Jammie Dodgers. 12 of them. I'm not going to eat all 12 because I have to share them with people. But
yes, we have we both have people in line waiting.
Yeah, people are just like, look, I'm getting a Jammie Dodger. I'm going to kill you. My wife has flat out told me she thinks I'm not going to like these at all. She says they'll be nasty because they have jam in them. I think that's poppycock. I think that these are going to be amazing. I've raised the bar so high that all I can do is be disappointed, but I refuse to believe that. Are you ready to open these bad boys up?
I'm ready.
All right. I'm opening my Jammie Dodgers. The seal has been broken. We're going to... Okay. This thing is not opening easily. And
we're being outsmarted by European packaging.
I have a single Jammie Dodger in my hand.
As do I.
All right.
Hear my heart. My heart's in the right way.
All right. I'm going to take a bite now. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
For those of you who have always wanted a Jammie Dodger, this is for you.
If this doesn't label us as an American Doctor Who podcast, I'm not sure.
Come on.
If the accents aren't enough.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They couldn't tell we were country as country gets. All right. I'm eating my Jammie Dodger.
All right.
Not what I was expecting. I feel like the cookie part is a little drier than what I was thinking. I was thinking more...
And that might be from...
Big Newton-y. It may be.
That might have been from being mailed to us.
Oh, I got the piece. Don't let that happen. Don't waste anything. Come on, I ain't wasting a bit. I like these. I think they would be good with milk. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like this is something to eat with milk. I bet eating on a podcast is awesome. I bet people are just loving it, sitting at their desk right now with headphones in, going,
you know what?
These fools chew.
I would gladly take someone complaining, saying those fools are eating cookies on their podcast, because guess what? That means they had to listen to us. However long we've been recording already. That means they would have had to listen this long to hear us.
That means they didn't give up till now.
Exactly.
Like they finally just... On a scale of 1 to 10, I think I'm going to give a Jammie Dodger a 7, 7.5.
I'm right around there.
I think, look, I'd rather have maybe a really good chocolate chip cookie. I'm trying to think of what to compare this to American-wise.
Fig Newton, maybe, but that's not a fair. It's
Fig
not.
Newton is what I was thinking I was going to be getting. I thought I was going to be getting a different kind of Fig Newton.
Yeah.
But I think the jelly's better than the inside of a Fig Newton. The outside of a Fig Newton may be better than the outside of the Jammie Dodger, but the Jammie Dodger is, I think it's a different class because it's more, it's a drier, crunchier than, we're literally reviewing Jammie Dodgers on a Doctor Who podcast. I'm excited about that.
It makes sense. I like it. I do too. Actually keeping from eating another one.
I don't want to eat. I'm going to definitely eat another one. I'm just going to wait till the episode's up. Well, yeah, I'm going to wait because there's 2 of us. There's 3 of us talking. I could take breaks and eat, but I have to talk too much. I enjoy it. I'm happy. I hope everyone can get their hands on Jammie Dodgers. Maybe we can sign some petition.
I actually posted. There was another Doctor Who site on Facebook that had posted like a link for basically people meant for people like us that don't have access to Jammie Dodgers. It was like a recipe to make
Ooh.
Jammie Dodger equivalents.
You can get them on Amazon, but I feel like
Yeah,
when I looked, they were way high.
Yeah, I looked too.
Okay.
So
we've eaten our Jammie Dodgers. Life's good because I have them. It feels good on the inside. I liked it. I was scared there was going to be cinnamon involved and I would die, but I did not.
It's been killing me. I was disappointed we didn't get to record last week because I didn't get the Jammie Dodgers.
Oh, half my box has been promised to different people who are like, I want one. Now I have to save at least one for Kyle. The kids want some. I want.
I've been fighting Abby. I mean,
okay. So the Crimson Horror. That's where we're moving to now. This is the episode we just finished watching a few hours ago. It aired in America about an hour and a half ago, and finished it about an hour and a half ago. And I watched it a little earlier today. Now, speaking of the writers, do you know who wrote this episode?
Mark.
Close. Yep.
However you say his last name.
Gaddis, I believe. Do you know who that is?
I know I should, but I'm
should.
I'm drunk on
Jammie.
I'm drunk on Jammie Dodger.
I didn't know when it happened, but looking up now, Mark Gaddis plays Mycroft on Sherlock.
Say what name?
He's the actor who plays Mycroft on Sherlock. Sherlock's brother.
I would accuse you of drinking, but I know you don't.
I'm serious. I looked it up. I did his IMDb.
Is it really?
Yeah. He plays Mycroft on Sherlock. He also wrote Unquiet Dead, Idiot's Lantern, Cold War, and The Crimson Horror. He's written 4 Doctor Who episodes. I'll go look it up if you don't believe me. I'm telling you.
No, I believe you. I believe you.
I went to IMDb.
Yes, and has written several new series episodes, and yes, he is Mycroft, says Tim.
Ha ha ha. Boom! I was right.
Oh, he's just selfish.
He's
showing all sorts of talents.
Now, I went back and looked, and Unquiet Dead and Idiot's Lantern weren't my favorite episodes from previous seasons, but they weren't bad. But I really, really, really like Cold War, and since we've just started talking about Crimson Horror, I really like Crimson Horror. So I'm not going to give it a high, like a super crazy rating, but I'll give it a good 8. How did you feel about the horror of Crimson? Crimson and Horror.
We're going to do that here. I'm going to talk, and then I'm going to get my song playing. Since we're going to do that here.
Is that what you picked?
Yes.
Yes. That just made me happy because I killed the Momentum Killer's momentum. Balling right now. Oh, that was awesome. Crimson and Horror. That's my jam. So, Mark Gaddis wrote the episode. What did you think? How did you like the episode? Yay, nay?
I liked it.
That didn't sound real respectable. Like, I liked it. Like, it was okay.
I enjoyed it. I've watched it twice already.
Really? Well, you powered through hard. You're going to have a bunch of notes. What do you
I do the side. I do other things. I made up this spoiler page for Ogtvar, or however I say my character's name now. So yeah, I watched through it.
So what are you thinking? Like an 8, 9, 74 out of 10? What?
73 out of 10. Yes, I'm with Tim. That's on my notes, that the reference to the Fourth Doctor.
Well, then we'll get to that. So
I don't know anything about it. I just looked it up.
This episode brings back some of I would consider Police Box Paradox favorites, and I'm assuming more fans like them as well. The trio of Madame Vastra, Jenny, and Strax.
If there was ever going to be a spin-off during the Moffat era, this was...
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. When this episode started and we went so far without seeing the Doctor, and it's kind of weird, like the way I watch it, there are no commercials. So
yeah,
I didn't know where the commercial breaks were. So you kind of lose track of time when you're watching an episode because you're trained mentally just to judge time by commercial breaks. But it felt like we went a long way into the episode without the Doctor, and
it was about 15 minutes. I actually watched the second time. It was 15 minutes into the episode.
Because
of the video,
I really felt like this was starting to be a backdoor pilot for a spinoff. Now, a backdoor pilot, for those who don't know, it's when they, instead of the first episode, don't you dare, not this one, not this one. A pilot episode, for those who don't know, is like they film a first episode of a show it to the execs, and then they say yay or nay, and then they buy more. A backdoor pilot, look, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I've become a big Vampire Diaries fan. It is not a Twilight show where there's a bunch of love story stuff. There are love stories, but they are vicious, and it's very, very, very good writing. They just did this. They're doing a spin-off series called The Originals because there's a group of vampires on the show that are the original vampires. And basically, during the Vampire Diaries season last week, they had an entire episode that was just about those without the regular characters. And that was the pilot for the new show. And they've done this on other things. They're doing it on Once Upon a Time, too, with because they're doing a backdoor
Neverland
for the Wonderland.
Wonderland.
They're doing the Alice in Wonderland spinoff on Once Upon a Time. I really felt like that's what this was, and it still may be because there was a lot of it there, and we learned a lot about the characters. But I really thought I read another site. I forget who it was, or I would tell them. Someone did a breakdown of rating the top episodes that had very little Doctor in them. And
yeah, I remember seeing this, but I don't know where.
I had that in my mind when I was watching. I was like, this is going to be another very minimal Doctor episode in order to build that up. I think that the series could do well. I don't know, maybe BBC doesn't like it, but BBC America should jump all over it because I don't think it would be. I think it would work. Yeah, I don't think it would be super expensive because they don't have to necessarily do a bunch of supernatural stuff.
Short of the makeup, I mean.
Right, which really, that can't be that high compared to other stuff.
The one line that really triggered it for me that I thought that, and I was like, you know what? If you took this episode and put it in, a string of episodes for their show, this episode would fit. I mean, it wouldn't be out of character. Was at the very end when Strax looks at Vastra and says, the vault, talking about that big vat of stuff. So they've got a vault. They've got some
stuff's going on
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the most part, I'm assuming it's more crimey. Yeah. Maybe there's stuff going on, but I feel it's less sci-fi. I realize that there's a reptile and a Sontaran, but it's almost procedural, like a CSI or a Sherlock or something like that. And
CSI Lizard Woman.
The trio's perfect. Vastra is a great character. She comes across well. I like that some people are super freaked out by her, and some aren't because we've had the previous skin condition references. And I like the sitting there with the mat, like the veil.
The woman who plays her does very well in communicating with her eyes, where she can't so much. I'm guessing with the makeup on her face right through here, with her eyes, just the whole shock or analyze. I mean, she does a lot with her eyes that I think helps there.
Yeah, and then Jenny's a strong character too. I mean, we find out in this episode that she's a dominatrix, and that was kind of weird to see coming out of nowhere. Nothing that didn't make you laugh at all when she decides to disrobe into her. Maybe dominatrix is pushing it, but definitely a Black Widow outfit.
Abby has my big Sonic downstairs.
Your daughter's allowed to steal your Sonic when it's her birthday.
She has my Sonic screwdriver. Yeah, I'm not going to deny my daughter to play with my Sonic screwdriver.
Exactly. So we see Jenny in this episode and how she is basically a brute strength enforcer because she can get crazy in hand-to-hand combat. And then let's just all go ahead and agree with Tim. Strax is just awesome.
Yes, he is.
He makes me happy anytime he's on screen. He says the most absurd things. Everything is they didn't deliver the newspaper today. Let's have a full frontal attack.
Let's attack them with
chemical grenades.
With limbo vapor.
Yeah, he's in that poor horse. He killed 3 horses in a week, and he was on his 4th one.
See, here's my little one. There's a flashlight.
Weirdo. So
really weirdo when in this episode it has the Sonic go from this to this. Really?
We'll get to that.
I'm the weirdo. That's like something I would do.
We'll get to that in a minute because that was a quick, subtle, but it was funny. So Strax is in the episode. I love Strax. That's why I think the three of them work. You have 2 very strong characters that can carry the seriousness of the show and make it work, and then Strax is just funny. He just works, but he's also, I mean, he's usable. He saves the day in this episode.
Yeah, and that was the part that I cracked up the most, was just how happy he was to be shooting.
To finally be shooting. He was so pleased to be shooting. And
then he was like a kid, "Oh, just go play with my grenades."
I love it. I love it. Now, I do want to bring up one thing because it was a Strax scene. Why?
Timothy?
No, Thomas.
Or Thomas. Like it matters.
It does, because Thomas.
Well,
Thomas,
okay,
Tom.
Tom. Yeah.
Why? Like, is there something I'm missing that needed to, like, because it didn't even fit into the story. It felt like I have a funny joke about Tom. Is it because I can change? I had a Tom
sponsored this episode or something.
That's what I'm wondering. Like,
they're an advertiser.
Why is there a reason that we had to bring that in? Like, it makes no sense to me. It was like, it wasn't even funny to the point where I laughed at it. I laughed at it. Like, I was like, why did that just happen? Are you eating another Jammie Dodger while I'm talking? That's a party foul, because I can't eat because I have to talk nonstop.
No. That's what you do. That's why I like you hosting.
Because I ramble? I just filibuster through the world? See, I don't know. I felt like, do you know where that joke should have been?
On the cutting room floor?
Well, besides that, it should have been on the Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Like, that's where it felt like that's where it would be. It just, to me, that's...
This is also an episode that had the same idiot pass out 3 times.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You know what I would compare it to then, now that you pointed that out? Superman 2.
Superman 2?
No, think about it. Superman 2 that Donner was shooting was straightforward in what it should have been. And then when they brought in, what's his name? I forget all of a sudden. When they brought him in to finish it, they added all the comedic elements for no reason, just to do it. And then what we saw in theaters was the comedic version that, I mean, I loved Superman 2 growing up, but then I saw the Donner cut and I was just mad.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, why did you not give this man money and finish this movie? So, again, I liked the episode. I'm not down in it. But I felt like some of the comedy stuff was a little weird for no reason. So, when she strips down to her outfit, that's when it happened.
Oh, I had the video queued up before.
Do you?
I had the video. It's actually in the preview video. Yes. For those that weren't watching, that are watching now,
there's going to be people listening that can't see, though.
Yes, and that's why I wish I had the other Sonic, because there's even an audible change in the Sonic. There's a slight pitch change. Because it for the scene we're talking about is when Jenny says, "Don't worry, Doctor, I've got this." She takes her little bonnet off and she takes her little dress off. She's got the leather outfit, and the Doctor is standing behind her and just has that look. I can't explain the look because we're not explicit. But basically, he has his Sonic, and he has it perfectly horizontal level, and actually raises it to point up, and the tone of the TARDIS, the tone of the Sonic goes just like kind of like one octave higher. It's like, and then a second later, he looks at the Sonic like, oh, and then actually takes his other hand and puts it back down, pushes it down back to level. And this is right after the man kissed her, got slapped, and said she didn't know how good that slap
felt.
He enjoyed the slap.
I felt he checked her out a few times during the episode too. I felt the Doctor was looking her up and down a little bit.
Somebody's slipping the Doctor,
because he is definitely more interested in women than I've ever seen him in his life. And I think it's the influence of that just no good Clara. I don't think she's no good. I like her. Go ahead and ask something inappropriate. Right, fine, go ahead.
No, this actually is a theory that literally just popped into my head. Or a question. And this was actually a note I had on Journey to the Center of the TARDIS that we didn't talk about. was at the very beginning of the episode, the first time we see Claire. She's sitting there deciding if she's going to open this door that she knows has got bad crap behind it. Sits there and talks to herself like, flashing red light. Probably shouldn't do this. But does it anyway. That's very doctorish. Now, the doctor, checking people out, enjoying getting slapped, making little innuendos, doing this stuff. That's very Clara. Especially Asylum of the Daleks and Snowman being very flirty, being very innuendo, being very direct. Now,
are you saying there's a Freaky Friday situation?
What happens if, all right, obviously Clara gets split. There's something going on.
Right.
There's no debate on that. What if, that's the thing, the closer they get to whatever point happens, more of their personalities are crossing each other. As whatever event happens, I don't know. It just registered with me with us talking. I'll have to sit and think of it further, but Claire's showing signs of being very doctorish.
Well, and now that you say that, what do we specifically discussed in Hyde when she was told to stay put, not move, not breathe. And she didn't. Then she'll be showered.
No, that's Cold War. That was Cold War.
No. When he goes out on the planet, when he goes in the world, he specifically says, "Don't move, don't breathe." Okay, you can take shallow breaths.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I don't think we brought it up on that episode, but I've talked about it to Kyle definitely since. Did we talk about the fact that whenever he goes out to get that sample at the end of the world, that Rose and Ninth Doctor are in a spaceship up there looking at it?
I think we referenced the fact that was another episode that was very similar to a Ninth and Rose episode, but I don't think we actually said, hey, guess what?
He went to the end of the world. Like, he went to the destruction of the world when the sun exploded.
Yes.
Or imploded, I forget what you did.
So Rose and the Ninth are up there on that little
spaceship looking down at them.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of Rose going on. A lot of it. In which we look. Hey. It's been announced. We know she's going to be in the 50th in some way, shape, or form. But we've not seen
her yet, and that's really bothering me.
I think she's going to play a bigger role than we realize.
All right, we'll talk about the finale and stuff here in a little bit.
Yeah, in a minute. Let me see what else I want to do. Something I thought was weird. It felt, this episode, like the whole time you knew there was like a big bad running everything. But it turned out it wasn't the Great Intelligence.
I want to know how many I was about to say, I want to know how many people thought it was the Great Intelligence.
I did, but here's something. Apparently, when it was back in Madame Vastra's time, it was a parasite. I feel like it has evolved a lot to get to where it is in this episode. Yeah. Could it possibly evolve into the Great Intelligence, or am I just trying to make it be the Great Intelligence?
This is one of those times where I wish we had like a video feed and I could go right to it and feed it through this and everything else.
You can.
Well,
if you play it on a player on your screen, do the screen share, you can just show it.
Yeah, it's too much to set up. I don't have it ready. But right there towards the end, when after she's shown she's got this thing on her chest and
yeah, that was a weird sequence, dude. When she pulled the shirt open, I was like, I do not want to see this. I didn't know what was happening. Yeah. It happened real fast, and I was like, no.
But go back and watch. People listening, go back and watch. You can tell me if you think I'm overthinking this. But the woman, whatever her name is, Flower Glory, whatever, Morning Glory, I don't know. When she's talking to the doctor, about the time the doctor asks her about her daughter and everything else, there was an entirely different kind of tone to her voice, and the way she talked and everything changed to me.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
The way her mannerism, she completely changed how her tone, her kind of accent, the way she said stuff, it changed. And that made me think, okay, it wouldn't surprise me if, at the end of at the finale or something, when we run into the Great Intelligence again, which I don't think that's a spoiler because they've announced it, that it's going to be like, oh, we're going to have flashbacks, and we're going to flash back to this episode, and he had some sort of connection. We just don't know it yet.
Oh, I'm sure of that. I'm sure.
Well, this is
everything,
and I double checked on the dates. The Snowman was in December of 1892. This was Yorkshire, 1893. So we're like 6 months past Snowman is when they've shown back up. I mean, you knew they were close, but I mean, it's the next year at some point. So,
you have to talk just a little more with you and Jammie Dodgers.
So yeah, but yeah, who said that? I hate my phone sometimes. Twitter doesn't want to work.
Okay, the Doctor.
Is who we watch on the show.
Yes. And he's being referenced as the monster.
And he never said, that was one of my notes, that he never changes that.
No. He never, like, he was okay with it. And I feel like he's been called a monster in other episodes, even calling himself a monster. And that makes me feel like, even calling back to your theory of don't do the background check, there's something dark.
Yeah. Something
dark has happened, and we're not supposed to know about it. And yes, Tim is confirmed.
We're going to have to just get Tim on one day.
Tim has confirmed that he has been called himself a monster.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what's coming. I'm just not sure when we get there. So, this episode has two sections in how I want to talk about it. We have what happened back in time. Are we good with that now? Because I'm ready to move on to Claire's back at the house, where all heck breaks loose.
Yeah, this isn't something that we have to discuss. This is something I want to ask who's listening, and if anybody has, and I'll put this on Twitter and everything else. They've done this twice in the last two episodes. Last episode, Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, they emphasized the Smiths on that key when he's turning the key to. And Tim actually asked this past week if we thought there was anything to it. The pictures were too clear to have been real. You're overanalyzing that, Tim.
Hey, pot, kettle, pot, both black. Just so you know, buddy.
Yeah.
You overanalyze a bit.
Me? No. Yeah. Wait till you see the post where I actually call reference to Firewoman the song as a call to Rose Badwolf, because she looks like she's on fire. She's just a girl and she's on fire. No. In all seriousness, the first door that Jenny goes into when she's investigating that place, they emphasize the door that has an SV on it.
Sweetville.
Never mind. Yes, let's go on to... Yes, Claire got she screwed in present day. I'm so smart. I'm not really at all. Yes, she has been busted by these genius kids. And at first I thought this is cheesy. And then I saw the previews to next week's episode and actually liked that we're bringing kids on the TARDIS. Yeah. It makes me happy. Now, I knew about it, a little bit about it before watching this episode, that the kids were involved. Actually, in the episode description, they referenced the kids. So the question was, how did the kids get there? And I knew that the kids had found pictures of her. And I was like, okay, but then the boy was like, I found this at school.
And really,
all right, there's probably 6 pictures from a Soviet sub in the 80s, but okay.
Right. And this just happens to be one of them.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of a push to think that these 2 kids have randomly found these pictures of her. But they've also got one.
But you have facial recognition search now. I mean, that's not a horrible stretch.
Yeah, that's true.
It is, but it isn't.
My dogs have lost their minds. So they found the pictures, but in finding those pictures, she's trying to cover it up as she should.
Yes.
But then there's the one picture that she didn't see coming.
Yes.
The picture of her in night.
It's not right.
Yeah, is that you said it was 1893?
18. This episode tonight was 1893. So that picture, the other picture would have been 1892 or somewhere along those lines.
Or prior in that life. So it looks like she's on the trail. I don't know if she's investigating or what she's doing. I'm getting ready to get a dog.
That's what she said.
All right. Marley will come up here with me for a minute. Maybe they'll calm down. So I wonder if she's going to investigate or confront. She strikes me more of a confronter.
I don't know if she'll confront. I mean, obviously the kids are going to blackmail her into going with her.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about that.
So I don't know if she'll get a chance to confront. At some point she's going to have to. It's going to have to be brought up, but I don't know when. I'm sure we'll see it, though. But that... I lost my train of thought.
Why? Is Marley bothering you?
No, I like Marley.
My little Ewok. So, don't get on the keyboard, sweetheart. Don't do that. The kids are going on the TARDIS.
How did you feel about that? Did you feel like it was a corny thing? Like, oh, okay. Or is it more
it was corny as it was happening, but at the end, like when they found the one that wasn't her, it was cooler.
You know what I think? That's what your butt gets for keep on going back.
That's a good point. And this was always
something. They've obviously seen the doctor.
Right.
They refer to him as her
boyfriend. Like, this is something that always sat weird with me. In Rose, he shows up fairly fresh from the Time War, correct?
Photoshopping jobs.
I know. Ever. He shows up fresh from.
We presume it's fresh from the Time War. Yeah,
we presume
because he's looking in the mirror, playing with his ears, and doing all that. So he's not familiar. Yeah.
So, with that happening, he's there, and then he goes, and then he comes back. But the friend, or the guy, I forget if it was a friend or a guy, or whoever it was, has all these images of him throughout time, right?
Yeah.
So, when did that happen?
Well, it could have happened after, but Rose was with him the entire time, so
exactly. But we have these things are happening. So yeah, she's leaving a trail of those pictures. It's just weird that the kids found it.
I concur. And with Tim just say that?
Yeah. It's a good point, but I don't think she's thinking spatial.
I think the whole thing is she's just come back from Yorkshire at the same time frame, and she's not thinking. It's like, well, no, wait a second. No, that's not. It's
and she did specifically ask why he wanted to be there.
Yeah,
and he was just like, no reason. Speaking of, I should have done this before we left the whole Yorkshire experience, and I don't know anything about the show except that my wife loves it. But I keep a feed of I keep the people who comment on the show. I keep a feed of that. I keep a feed of people who mention us. But I keep a feed that's a search for hashtag Doctor Who, hashtag Whovian, and hashtag the episode. So like hashtag the Crimson Horror. Well, one popped up from someone, he has no idea who we are. His name's at Brett, BRETTDEVER on Twitter. And he said, and I giggled, he hashtagged it Doctor Who, but his comment was, this is the weirdest episode of Downton Abbey ever. And that just made me smile because that was a good place.
Hey, you want to know a scary thing? I mean, we talked about this before we started recording. That'll connect you to going and watching Iron Man tomorrow.
Will it?
Yeah, it will.
Awesome. That makes me happy.
There's a Downton Abbey call out.
Oh well, I'll have no idea what it is. My wife.
You will, because they'll say Downton Abbey.
Oh, okay.
There's no misconception. I've never seen an episode, so I wouldn't have known. I mean,
yeah. So, do you have anything else on the Crimson Horror before we move along?
I mean, there was the reference to the Fourth Doctor, and I just looked it up. That when he was talking about trying to get an Australian to the airport.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's the reference.
I figured it had to be a previous.
Like every episode in one way or another has referenced the classic stories. I can't imagine why. Is it Tegan? Is that how you say that, Tim? Is Tegan or Tegan? I've not watched, so I don't know. I'm talking to a Twitter feed.
Well, but he responds quickly.
Yeah, I know. But there's been like at least some frame of a callback. Okay, thank you. Tim said yes for all those listeners.
I know. Yeah, Tim keeps up and corrects us. I wish there was a way we could go back and like resync the Twitter feed to overlay
sweet.
as things are happening.
Kind of like a VH1 behind the scenes type thing while we're recording. It pops up in the corner.
I'll start thinking. I'll work on some stuff.
So we've had callbacks before. Obviously, this is a spoiler that they've already released for next week's Nightmare in Silver, as apparently at some point they kidnap the Doctor and they start probing his mind, and you get this. They're gonna like show you all the previous regenerations again. So a callback to all that. But I noticed in the preview video, and I'll have both preview trailers up on the side here in a little bit when we're done. I always wait to do that after the fact. I like your background. What's your background?
Oh, on Firefox? I don't know. It's something default. Huh. I was just bringing up the screen to show. Here's Tim saying things over here.
Yeah, here's Tim taking over the feed. DC Sensei makes a cameo here.
Towards the bottom.
But if you go back and watch the previews for the Nightmare in Silver, there are two versions of Cybermen.
Yeah, I think there's
there's the old Cybertron, whatever the previous version was.
Well, let's just call timeout. We're going to start talking about next week's episode and 50th anniversary and all that stuff. So if you don't want any spoiler of any kind, you probably wouldn't be listening to this episode anyway. But we like to warn people. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff moving forward.
You don't want spoilers. Just avoid me.
We're not going to go crazy spoilerish because I won't let Mike do that. But we're going to talk about some stuff, 50th anniversary stuff and finale and this, of course. So back to next week's episode. I think what we're going to see is and I think they've promoted the old Cybermen a lot because I think we're going to move on to new Cybermen because we've heard several times now that they are fast, which is not what. No, you back away from that microphone. You're going to chew like that. Come on now. So the Cybermen have been referenced as being extremely fast. So obviously there's going to be an upgrade on the Cybermen. So
I think it's because of the Doctor. I think he causes it.
Really?
And I base that purely on the fact that that last line of the BBC one says, he says something like, the Doctor, the savior of the Cybermen or something.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that line. Yeah, good point. I don't want him to do that, though. I don't want him to... He
doesn't do it on purpose.
I'm sure he doesn't, but still.
They're his illegitimate children. I mean, he's all walking around, pin up. He needs some release, so he makes new Cybermen.
Do you think he would make new Cybermen, though?
If he makes a cyber woman, we're in trouble.
But could he possibly make, does he need to use them to fight something?
Let me finish chewing. Hang on.
Really?
You did it.
I didn't.
No.
But I managed to eat mine in small little pieces every now and then so I could finish it.
I think I got a big mouth. I think, and this is purely guessing. I have nothing to base this off of. Either if I'm right, cool. If I'm wrong, you're going to know. I think it's all right. We know they probe his mind and everything else. It wouldn't surprise me if they're like, we know the Doctor. He's fought us all these many times. What has he done to beat us? They analyze him to figure out their problems to create the new line. So because of him being there, he has a hand in creating the new Cybermen because they show him the error of their ways previously. I'm guessing.
Possible. It all takes place on a huge theme park planet.
Sort of like Kentucky Kingdom.
Because it's a theme park planet. It's not even open right now. That's
not my point. The theme park planet's broken down and closed, and so it's Kentucky Kingdom.
Good point. Okay, so you've got finale stuff you want to talk about. I've not seen any news on it, so I don't even know what you're going to talk about.
I like that Warwick Davis is in the next one, too. We need to hire somebody just to read Tim's tweets.
We need to hire somebody to take the Jammie Dodgers away from you because you can't stop shoving them in your mouth at this point.
I like them. They're nummy.
We're on the home stretch, buddy. We're winding down.
First off, the latest edition of Doctor Who magazine, which is, over there with these people that have these nummy Jammie Dodgers and all other good things. They've got the article talking about the finale. Mm-hmm. First off, they have just wrapped filming the final scene of the finale just recently.
Really?
The final scene is a big bad secret. No one knows what it is. They just recently wrapped filming it. Oh, around the time they were filming for the 50th.
That's what I was going to say. I can guarantee you there was at least one special guest.
I wonder, you've got Rose, you've got Tennant, John Hurt, or whatever his name. I mean, obviously there's someone involved with the 50th that's going to show up at the very end. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking the very last scene is probably going to be something like we had tonight, where the story's done. Here's a tease for the next one.
Right. So, it's going to eat shawarma. It's something like that.
Yeah. That's a callback to Avengers for anybody.
Yeah, for anybody that's not seen the Avengers. Surely if you watch Doctor Who, you watch the Avengers.
More on the finale. We've got there's going to be a prequel that's going to come out. We might actually be able to talk about it if we record next weekend. We might be able to record it.
How many more episodes do we have pre-finale? 2?
Next week, and then the finale.
Oh wow!
I think, pretty sure.
So we've got Gaiman and then the finale, and then we're off until the 50th. Holy cow! Mm-hmm. Also, you know something that's weird? It seems like the last 3 times we recorded, and I do the call out to say that we are now moving on to spoilers, we have a significant jump in viewers.
Significant jump?
Yeah. Like they don't go away, more instantly come in. Like someone got on the phone and goes, hey, they're going to talk some spoilery stuff. Jump on real quick.
Hey, Michael's gotten past all the momentum killing. He's going to get into the stuff. He's going to get into the stuff he gets excited about.
Yeah. So that's weird, but yeah, you've almost got to guarantee that Tennant is in that. Although, depending on, because there's a lot of theories that John Hurt is the mythical lost doctor.
I think it's going to be Rose. I think this is, again, me theorizing. I think the 50th is going to is a big part of it is going to be them trying to rescue Rose from something. She's going to be the key to. She's the first companion the Doctor had after the Time War, so they're going to see her as the key to something. So to destroy the Doctor, they can't do anything before the Time War, so they get Rose for something. Because I don't know if we've seen Rose, but
not in any filming situations.
No,
I just assume everything's inside.
I'm guessing on that. Anyway, we've got a prequel for the finale. First picture of the finale is popped up, showing the Doctor carrying Clara, a la how the photo we saw of him carrying Amy. Mm-hmm. Before for Asylum of the Daleks. The big thing, they've also confirmed Tennant's the only Doctor coming back and blah, blah, blah. The big thing, and I put this on the Facebook and Twitter feed, and I just put the line that the Doctor Who magazine shows a picture of River Song from the finale. I don't know if it's a stock photo or whatever. And the little caption in the bottom corner says, post Library River.
How have I not seen this? That seems like something I should have known. How are we going to get unless it's inside the computer?
Post River Song.
I don't like what you're doing. It's making me upset.
I can't do it. I can't help it. Let's see here. Yeah, it says, the caption for the picture says, I shouldn't have clicked that. I could have read it just from the Google feed. Says, yeah, I've got it right here. The caption on the photo reads, Professor River Song, back from the library.
Back from the library.
Yes.
Hmm.
See if I can get this. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but screen share, full screen. Oh, wait, I can just do the image. There. That little picture. I mean, they've got the whispering men up there, the whisperers or whatever they're calling them, those freaky guys.
Mm-hmm.
But painting on heads. But right there it says Professor River Song, back from the library. Now, I've read once or twice that people halfway questioned if the river that we saw during Angels Take Manhattan was also post
library.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this now. If they take a river, if they ruin my Silence in the Library end of river, it's gonna upset me.
Well, see, there's some people that have the theory that Claire is associated with the library and all that stuff. Like Cal has is associated with how she exists. I don't think that's the case, but
I just know that that's one of the perfect things that have ever been done on a show, and I do not want them to ruin it. It's just like whatever they do with Rose in the 50th, it cannot ruin what happened with her in the Alterverse or whatever we're going to call it. Some things are just done so well that it's not worth messing up. Now, I don't think we pointed this out, but someone pointed this out to me, a listener and someone who I'm actually shooting their wedding, Big Bang Hank. I think his Twitter name is Hank3Hank, but I don't have it up right now. He's a big Doctor Who fan, and he pointed this out, and I don't know if we've talked about it on here, so I'm just going to show it real quick. Oh, can I not bring it up? Yeah,
I don't know, can you?
Look. Let me close this.
Are you going to hurt my head?
No, it's just, it's the,
There's something with this picture of Claire that just bothers me.
254. Actually, let's talk. I'll bring it up in VLC or something. Or, let me see. Have we talked about, since I'm going through all this effort?
Yes,
have we talked about the wolf in the opening credits?
I don't know if we have or not.
Because I've got a screen. I want to show it. We've got the new credits.
Because again, that goes with my firewoman.
Right. Yeah, and there's two roses below it too.
Yeah.
Let me mute this, and I had that at 254.
But have they? Oh, I'm scrolling through. Another rumor. I've not found a picture of this, and this is actually old news for people that might be trying to follow spoilers. But in reference, and I don't think this is going to be anything, but a reference to the finale. One rumor is that there was a prop for a River Song tombstone. Which, if we see her die in the finale, there we go.
Okay. If you are on the YouTube channel, great. If you're not, I apologize. But this episode here, which I don't know if you can see my mouse. Does that come across the screen? Yeah.
Yes, I can see your mouse. Ooh, that works out well.
Once you see this, you will never unsee it.
No, you can't.
Because it's all I see in the intro. But this little bottom right-hand corner, it's really early in the intro. You see this. I mean, that's a wolf. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. That's a wolf.
It could be a Labrador.
That's a wolf. And these are two roses down here on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Yeah, so you didn't know anything. Like, you've not used this. The screen share option gives us some
that
cool
actually
stuff.
works. And Lord, that woman. Scary. Get her away. Get her away.
Sorry. We probably get in trouble using that. But
as much as I play songs, really.
I don't know.
I mean,
Doctor Who people may actually pay attention to us. I doubt anyone on any of those songs care. I'm just saying.
Yes.
So, you got anything else before we've been going a while? So we can wrap it up because I'm sure my wife misses me.
Yeah, give me 1 second because I want to do this. Hang on.
What are you going to do?
You talk because I'm going to do what you do.
Okay, so Claire caught with the kids. We already pretty much discussed all the crimson. Oh yeah, we're moved on to all the rest of the stuff. I don't know if other spoiler stuff. Still looking forward to the 50th. I'm not hearing anything new. There's two good theories. Somebody posted a link, I don't remember who did, on the Facebook page to the Bad Wolf theory, where when Rose does the Bad Wolf, becomes the Bad Wolf, and has the energy of the TARDIS in her, she says some things like, I take you and divide you and spread you throughout space and time.
Yes.
And they're wondering if maybe Clara didn't die in Asylum of the Daleks, and she actually went on to become the Grand Supreme Dalek that we see in that episode. And she gets sent across. There's a lot of those things that are. I read the theory. It's on our Facebook page. It's not something we posted. Someone else did. And I apologize for not remembering who posted it. But go check it out, because it's a good theory.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily saying it's right. Whoa, it looks like you're bringing it up.
Hang on a second. I want to play this. All right. And now I'm going to play this. Firewoman. Tell me it doesn't look like she's on fire.
It does look like she's on fire. It also looks
there
like
we go.
You need a hobby. You need a hobby, man. You really do. Okay, so that was one thing, and then there was one more, and I don't remember what it was.
You're telling me I need to get a hobby, and people are seeing wolves and roses in the opening credits.
But they're obviously there.
And I will admit that is the only time, if you watch the animation, it hangs for a half second right there, and it doesn't do it any other time.
I want to tell you.
I agree. But I think it's just them jacking with us.
No, the Bad Wolf is going to play a part. Which may just be a flat Rose reference, but I'm just saying. Okay.
Well, there's been more Rose references, and
there's
always red, and I mean, it's blatant.
Okay, so that is it for this episode of Police Box Paradox. I'm Wes. That's Mike. We're happy that you're listening. Do us some favors. You can check us out at policeboxparadox.com, which has links to everything. But on Twitter, we are PoliceBX Paradox, because we can't add that one more letter because Twitter.
They limited to the characters. Yeah.
So we love hearing from people on Twitter. Love people going to the Facebook page. I believe it's facebook.com/policeboxparadox. But again, you can go to policeboxparadox.com, which is part of the haveageekasm.com website, which has all of your geeky music, your geeky movies, TV, all forms of geekery are covered well on haveageekasm.com.
And we're getting everything out there. I do want to say, I'm going to kill you right there. I do want to say we're getting more. I've actually got some people that are going to start submitting stuff. So
sweet.
It has just been me, but please come visit the site. Visit them,
and if you want to write, if you're wanting to write Doctor Who stuff, please. We love having user submissions. There's a few people talking tonight that they're going to get their submissions in. We also love having. I'm
with DC Sensei on that.
What did he say?
He says Piper will be the Bad Wolf in the 50th. I think that's the version of Rose we're getting. I think it's going to be.
It's not original Rose, but Bad Wolf Rose.
I think we're going to get Bad Wolf.
That could make sense. Then it doesn't ruin her ending. That works well, which is why they probably really wanted Eccleston and then didn't get him. Although it's still possible. I don't care what they say.
Because she sees all space and time. She knows what's going to go down. So why couldn't she just pop out for 1 second?
Exactly. And us never know. So check out the website. Check us out on Twitter. It really, 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 really helps us if you go on iTunes and leave a good rating and review. So if you could, I'd appreciate that.
I'll send you a Jammie Dodger.
Okay, see, now if someone leaves one, you're going to send them a Jammie Dodger. What if 100 of them do? Are you going to buy 100 sets of Jammie Dodgers and send them to people?
If we get 100 reviews, you damn Skippy.
Mike said that. Mike did. Everyone remember that. Now go review and get your Jammie Dodgers, because I'm going to go write a review right now and get mine.
Once we get 100 reviews, I will go get a Jammie Dodger and send one to everybody.
That's it for us. Until next time. This is the weirdest episode of Downton Abbey ever.